Hello and welcome back to Behind the Scenes of Third Age Reforged with me, Carondol. In this episode we're going to be creating this Dragonslayer's two-handed sword using Blender. It's not going to be too much like a tutorial, just a show. Just try and get it done as quickly as I can, I guess. It's not going to be as detailed as a tutorial, but we are just going to go through a few things to show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. So let's get started into the model. So we just got a human here just to scale it. We're going to want the sword to be rather large, so we're just going to create a cube to create the blade first of all. The blade in black that you see here, we'll create that first and then we'll draw everything around that. So scale that down and across using the scale button being S, then along the X and Z axis. Make that thinner. There's probably a good width to get down. So that's where the sword will be. So you're gonna have the little bit of the hill and the handle coming off there. So maybe that's a good length. Let's have a look. Make it a bit thicker. So I think this middle part makes up the majority of the width, really. Yeah, just like that. A little bit smaller. We'll go into edit mode, and then we'll want to do this little tip coming off here. So bring up the face select, E to extrude along the Y axis, then we'll just press S to scale and X to bring it down like that. Bring it out a little bit more. Just to scale along the X axis again, so then that's just scaled it, pinched it in a little bit, there and there. And then we're going to have to go into vertex select the two vertices, and we're going to merge them together for both of these, so it's a straight point then. Actually we'll pinch this a little bit as well, so that this is a little bit thinner on this side than it is near the handle side, like so. And that's it, that's the middle bit done already. Bring up face select this side, E to extrude on the X, just a little bit. Bring up this side, E to extrude the X axis, and grab both of them, scale them along the X axis just to bring them up a little bit. And each one of these is about half of the middle blade, so about there will probably do. I'll grab this one, rotate it slightly, same with this. Rotate them both so they're pointing more towards the front. Now we can UV extrude. Like that on the Y. No, scale that in. These points are going to have to go Oh yeah, that's probably much better. So we come off with it like out of here, I reckon. Like that. Need to extrude X axis. And I think it's important we merge these early. Merge these vertices. So how we do that, we select the two vertices like so, and then just press Alt M. We're going to do it at the last vertice so that it merges with this blade. We want these to come up like so, and then we will merge these two in the middle at the center and these two at the center, and that is the blade. Just checking it in terms of the photo. Yeah, it looks alright. I think what we'll do is scale, bring down some of these pieces. So we'll grab all these side vertices and then we'll take a front on view like this, press scale along the Z axis, and we'll make it thinner like that. Then here, scale along the Z axis, make it thinner, get more like the tip of the blade. Then maybe grab these two, we'll scale them up just a little bit. What will that do? No. Grab these bits and scale them. There we go. That's our blade done. Now I think we'll try and create this little semicircle bit here. So how we'll do that is we'll make a circle, scale that right the way down. It's too low. Try to get it where we want it first time. How much of the blade does that cut into? It cuts into all of the black blade and none of the silver. So we want to scale that down even more. Oh. What we've done, we've accidentally created it in edit mode. Need to create an object mode to make it separate from the blade. We don't want them to be the same objects. Put over, that's about right on. Lower like that. And then we can see where we've done the indentations and we've brought these sides of the blade down. We've given it, we can now see the inside of the blade a little bit clearly for when we're working outside of the edit mode with it. I reckon over like so. Scale it a little bit, and that's about halfway on it as well. Yep, so we're going to bring up edit mode. And we're going to take half of these vertices. We're going to delete them. We're going to take the rest. We're going to create a face. So to create a face, just press F when we've got all the vertices selected, so we'll delete that. So all the vertices are selected here, press A to unselect, A to select, then just press F, creates a face. So we've got a half face here. What I want to do is E to extrude on the Z axis, like so. I reckon that's fairly big. Bring it all down like that. That is the right. No, we've got it the complete wrong way. So we'll rotate that around like that, like so. It's about halfway in as well. Want it halfway in each side, really. Top view. Make sure we've got it. Got it right. Make that a little bit longer, like so. And now we have our little blade holder as well in there. So now the last bit really to do is the sword, the handle. That should be fairly simple. So we're going to create a cube again, scale it all the way down, bring it out and up here. Ooh. Scale it down. Scale it down more. About there will do. Scale it along the Y because it's going to be fairly long and skinny. Make it a little bit skinnier. A little bit longer because it is going to be like a two-handed weapon. So you don't want it to be. Yeah, that's probably about right there. So we're going to just move it along here so we can see this side more clearly without interfering. We're going to bring up the face select here. We're going to press W and subdivide it, and that creates four faces, slices. Then we're going to go to loop tools, and now we can create a circle. We're going to do the same on the other side. W, subdivide into 4, loop tools and a circle. It won't let us go straight from the one face to making a circle, so we have to subdivide it beforehand. So now we've got like a cylinder now. Just like that, and all the faces, they're not all correct, like the vertices don't line up. Like here and here, there's no edge in there. But that will just be in the editing phase after the model's made. That can be adjusted just by doing stuff like that, and there you go, you have the correct edges in there. I mean, we could just do it now quickly. Shouldn't take too long, it's like a minute. Again, we're selecting all these vertices, and we are just pressing F to create a face, and it will create a face within those vertices that you've selected. And it will be a straight line, so if you've got vertices going all sorts of ways it won't look correct, so you need to make sure that they can get to each other in a straight line. So we're going to take that, we're going to press G, move it along the Y axis, put it in, so now it's like wedged in. Check out the scale, it looks alright. I'm going to want to come off the back here for this little handle. E to extrude along the Y axis, and then we're just going to scale. Just press S to scale. So now that's, we want it to be maybe a square, so we'll grab these two, press S to scale along the Z axis, and then grab these two, S to scale along the X axis, and now we have a little square. We could just delete all of these and create a face. Is there a middle one as well? No. With all of them. And then we'll dissolve these vertices because we don't. Oh, maybe not. Oh no, because they're coming out of there. Okay, we do need them. Makes sense. So then we just have that. That's about right scale, or maybe just a little bit bigger, a bit wide, longer. And that's a really basic model how to make a sword. It's quite low poly as well. It's not too great with the vertices, especially like the sword here. This whole sword's 20 vertices, this whole blade, and even that is like more than it should, like more than it normally can be. Can make it really simple. If we were just doing the blade, just the middle bit here, that would be like 10 vertices or something like that, maybe even less, because you're literally just coming off. But you have 4 there, 4 there, 8, 2 there, 10. So it can be really simple. Make a sword, and we'll create a little bit of detail on it maybe. Smooth that, smooth that, just to make it a bit nicer. We won't add these little bits in here because they can just be added with the texture, and there's no point, there's no need to make them with the 3D modelling. Just keep it nice and simple. So that's the 3D model of this section, the 3D section of this model. I'm going to be going into milkshape now to texture it, so I'll see you there. Welcome back, Carondol here again, and we're on milkshape 1.84, ready to texture our Dragonslayer sword. So add some basic textures to it. So the first thing we're going to do is import the object files. Let's start with the outer blade, and as you can see it's turned out black on the outside, so that means that if we apply any textures to it, it's going to end up like a Silver Surfer and it will not register within the game. So let's rename it first, blade outer, rename, select it all, see it's all selected in red, go to face and reverse vertex order here, Control Shift F if you like, or go up to here and face, reverse it, and there we go, that's its normal texture. Look, we can apply textures to that now and that will turn out in game. Alright, let's add the rest of the blade. I believe the middle of the blade as well we're going to have to do the same with. Yep, so we'll rename it blade middle. Select it all, so then you see just the middle of the blade is selected. You can see it in here. Face, reverse vertex order, and then that's turned out okay as well. Next thing we need to add is the sword hilt, sword box, I don't know what it's called, sword box I called it, but that's turned out fine. we don't need to do anything to that except rename it. We'll rename it to hilt. We haven't selected it because we didn't need to do anything with it, so we can just add the handle, and that's turned out fine as well. So then this is our object now, our sword in milkshape. Oh, what it looks like in milkshape now without textures. This is just the 3D object. So now we're going to have to add materials. So we come to materials tab here, press new. We're going to rename this to blade outer. Rename. We're going to want to select the outer blade. So we see we've selected it. We now go into this bit that says none here. This is just a picture file and stuff like that, and some textures. Sword, and it's just go. Then you can scroll around on the sphere here to see what it looks like, but it's obviously all one colour really. Assign. It may be a bit dark, but it won't look as dark because the middle of it is going to be a metallic black or black colour. So we're going to select that, the blade middle. We're going to want to make a new texture. Rename that to blade middle. Let's rename. Go into none again. Got a black sword texture there. And as you can see, we go around the sphere, but it's obviously all one colour. Click assign, and then we've got the black middle bit come in there. So our next thing is the hilt, and we're going to want to add, so it's going to be like a dark colour with a bolt in the middle, or rivet. I've used a rivet. So we're going to name that hilt, and it should be on a gunmetal grey. So as you see here, it's got the little rivet in the middle. We're going to add that to go onto the top and the bottom. So if we just click assign, that hasn't assigned straight away to where we want it. So we go into window, texture coordinate editor, hilt. Let's open this up a little bit. Region, want all this, remap it. But we don't want a front view, that's why it's not going on. We want a bottom view or a top view. Remap. And if we just click assign there, it should turn up on there because that's the front and the bottom of the object. So that's where we want it to go. We don't want it to go on the sides. But as we can see, it's a little bit forward. Maybe we want it to go a bit there, so we can just move it around within here. So we click, we've selected it all. Click move it up a little bit like so. Click assign. A bit better. It's very hard to move around in milkshape. I don't really particularly like how to move around in here. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong. I've only just started using it really. But maybe we'll try and make that a little bit skinnier as well. So we're going to scale and just widen this out a slight bit. Assign, just make it a bit more circular. Let's get out of that. Select. Deselect. Now last one, we haven't even renamed it. Handle. So we renamed it now. We can create a material for it. Rename that to handle as well. And all the way down the bottom we've got like a wood texture, but it does turn out alright. Like a handle, really. Got the little rough bits on it as well. It does look nice. It doesn't look too bad. And literally, there's basic textures just being added to it, just like that, really. So we've imported the object files, and all the different objects are here. So we can click on these, deselect them by going into select and coming off into this grey area. Oh, we'll try. So we've got the handle, hilt, middle, outer blades. We can select them all here. We've done our materials all in here, all a separate material for each single one. The only thing we had to do with the hilt was go into our texture coordinate editor, because we had to then scale it in for an object that we wanted to, because it wasn't just one colour we were going for. The rest of the objects here, we were just going for one colour throughout the whole thing, so it doesn't really matter, and it's quite simple to apply textures that way. But when we start having to add armour and stuff like that with details, that's when it becomes a bit more tricky, and it's personally something that I haven't done yet. So hopefully soon we can have some videos on it once I'm learning. I'm still learning milkshape. It's very new to me. We'll save this. It's Dragonslayer 0. I think I've already got one in here. It's just the object files 0.2, and that's it. A bit of an update on Reforged itself. Hoping to do more of these developer diaries, as mentioned by Canon and Sin in the latest Q&A video. They'll still be going up on my channel at the moment, but obviously if the team do want to do dev diaries, it is something that we have been speaking about, the developers and riders as such. So we might be adding them to the Third Age Reforged channel, just give us some variety of what we're adding, the content and stuff like that, so it might be seen to going up on there. We've also got the RP role-playing campaign, which is getting underway shortly. We've got quite a lot of people already signed up for it, over 20, 30 I think people signed up. There's like 3-4 people a faction, plus then a general as well, over the faction leader, sorry. I think we've got like 4 moderators or something as well, 4 or 5 moderators looking over the whole thing. So it's going to be a big grand campaign. It's basically like us playing DAC or Moz or something, but online. So obviously Third Age Reforged does not have a online campaign feature, so it's just we're going to do it as an online campaign where everyone gets a faction. They take, they can then choose to take other locations, so go against other factions, create diplomacy, trade with each other, expand your armies. I think we all start off with an army of 5 units, and we get 5,000 florins to spend on that unit. We have 1 general, and we can do what we want with that. I think there's rules on elite units and such, and god tier units, about how much we can have. I'm not sure of them, to be honest. I need to sort out my army still, but I am in the forces of Rune, and Sin of the Dark Cloud is my faction leader. But we're pretty stacked, actually. We've got all our members sorted. I think there's a few factions that still have members to fill, slots to fill, so if anyone wants to, then go ahead. Also thank you to Nokinsu again for the intro. Thank you to everyone that watched the last video. That was my first one. I got 50 views. I thought, oh, that's alright, 50 views, not bad. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We're going to have some more stuff. I think Dagoldor Orc helmet's coming soon. And Sin of Dark Cloud sent me a Linden helmet, which looks really cool, that we might try and make soon as well. Just a concept idea. For a new faction, we might be adding some Linden units for 1.0. I think we have room for a faction, but our main focuses are Ered Luin, Rudar, and Dagoldor. They're definitely going into 1.0, and then if we can, we'll add Linden as well for the High Elves. So you have Linden and Ladris. So yeah, that's a little update on what's going on in the Third Age Reforged community. Hopefully some exciting stuff coming up soon. New videos coming out. Q&A session with Sin of the Dark Cloud's just been released. Kuragura-chan's got his one coming out shortly. Thanks to Canon for doing that. I think J-Monster's got stuff going on. He's got 1,000 subs now, I think. He's got well over 1,100. So he's got stuff coming out as well. It's good to check out. But yeah, that was the Dragonslayer sword tutorial / me just making it. and talking rubbish. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll hopefully have another video for you soon. Thank you for watching if you have, and if you do have any criticism, comments or anything, be sure to leave them in there. I'll have links for the Third Age Reforged Discord and ModDB if you haven't already installed 0.91. Thank you for watching and goodbye.